When I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the eighth thought for today, which is surrender, let go, and be still. What does this mean? Well, a lot of times when people think of surrender, they think that they need to do absolutely nothing. That magically, without doing nothing, things are just going to happen. And they think, how is that possible? How am I going to do nothing and something's going to happen? Well, surrender really is something that you do inwardly. You let go inside, in the inner ambiance, in that space inside of you where we allow other things or a higher intelligence, God, a higher self, what I call inner ambiance, to flow. If we do not surrender that, then other things come in and clog that all up, like fear. That's the biggest one, which in metaphysical terms is called the ego. It comes in and tells you a whole bunch of stuff like you can't do this, what are you thinking, what if this happens? And most of the time it's what if, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if. So you become very fearful about things, and sometimes then you don't end up doing anything, because if you're anything like me, I become very paralyzed in my fear. Once fear takes over, I can't do absolutely anything. And it's a very frustrating place to be. And the more you focus on that, the more you can't let go. So it's better to just sit there, surrender, and let it go. And you wonder, how are things going to happen? I'll give you an example. I'm trying to get a website started and it seems like it's not working. I tried one friend, then it didn't work out with her, then I tried to do it with another friend, and then without being fearful, I realized that it just wasn't working out with this friend. I called a couple of times, he's not being able to get back to me. I know he had a huge project, so instead of sitting here being upset because my friend isn't calling me back, or because, what if it never happens, just because I know that this is what I need to do, I've already let it go. There's no fear. I decided to start a blog space on blogspot.com. That I can do. I'm not a web designer, but I can write. So I said, let me just do that. Then, out of nowhere, my friend, the original person who was going to do this website, shows up in my area because she's visiting from Guam. She's going to California. She came to Detroit and she came to the little town where I live. And she decided to come see me. I had no clue she was going to be in town. She called me out of the blue. I was actually in Chicago at the time. And I said, yeah, come on, let's go meet. So she comes over, we start talking, catching up, and she says, I have the time now to start a website. And because I was so caught up in this other stuff, I didn't even really hear her. Luckily for me, she brought it up again towards the end of our conversation and our catching up. And she said, hey, you sure you don't want to work out on this website? I have time. I'm going to get it. I'm going to do it. Once she left and I was in the mirror, and all of a sudden it hit me like, hello, this is what you wanted. So I called her and I said, hey, let's meet up tomorrow. Let's talk about this. And 9 months after the fact that she had brought this up as an idea, after she had seen some of my postings on Facebook, it hasn't happened yet. But it's the same kind of concept because of the surrender, because of the state of being still and letting go, and realize there's so many other things that are going on right now. And just with my life, and just knowing that just because I know this is going to happen, it's going to happen, there's still that belief. And I feel like it's been effortless. Like this person brought it up. Even when I was not even thinking about it, she brought it up again. She showed up out of nowhere. She called me and we met up. And now it seems like, okay, it's going to happen. And it's a miracle. And it's because there has been no fear involved. There's been that state of surrendering and letting go. It doesn't mean I haven't been doing anything, because I still been writing, I still have been going to work, I still been talking to people, working on my own inner ambiance, reading great books that help me focus on that so that I can better myself and get connected with that and get to a state of true happiness, because sometimes I still freak out here and there. So I'm trying to get to that place. But the eighth thought is just surrender, be still, and let go. And when you're able to do this, you know that everything is going to be okay. You don't have to be fearful. You don't have to be thinking, what if this, what if this? Because guess what? The what ifs, they haven't even happened. So it's absolutely crazy to be thinking of what if this happens, what if that happens, and then you just get full of fear and then you do nothing. So then nothing seems to happen and you think you're not getting anywhere, because it all started with this concept that you feeling like you have to make these all happen, and because you're thinking about it and worrying about it, something's going to happen. But actually, when we release that energy and we allow that higher intelligence to come into that space we've created, that inner ambience for ourselves, miracles are bound to happen. And that is how life is meant to be lived. Life is meant to be lived full of miracles. It's a life of miracles. And when we fill ourselves with that kind of energy, life can be absolutely beautiful. So try it this week, see how it goes. Again, it's surrender, be still, and just let it go and see what happens. If nothing happens, okay, but what's the worst that can happen? I mean, are you going to die from letting it go? Probably not. And if anything, you're going to feel a lot less stress, you're going to feel a lot less anxiety.